That's next on Chronicle.
Confession.
Hit me.
I've always wanted to play a musical instrument.
You know what? Me too. But you know what? It's never too late. So say the teachers at Henderson's Pick and Parlor in Candia. Why not give it a shot?
I don't know.
Well, you know, playing a musical instrument relieves stress, it helps calm the mind, and it's just one of life's simple joys. And you really need lessons, actually.
I do need lessons, I think.
All right, you practice, and I'll toss to our first story. Marina Forbes of Rochester is a native of St. Petersburg, Russia, and for over 20 years, as a historian and lecturer, she has shared the rich heritage of her native land with Granite Staters. But she's also an accomplished artist and painter of traditional Russian Easter eggs. Producer Cindy Jupp-Jones shows us how she's sharing that bit of Russia too. Sounds good, Tom. Keep practicing.
In Russia, we had this boom of opening window to Europe. We wanted to have those scientists, craftspeople, furniture maker, jewelry maker, anybody, artists, please come to Russia. The rumors were that if you go to Russia, you can make great living working as an artist.
Everything was in my life from the very beginning. It's about arts, history, culture, music, opera, ballet, what makes Russia very special. My mom and my dad thought that it would be kind of great idea for me to start painting, so I was accepted in the studio, and then at the age of 6, I was accepted at the Hermitage Museum School of Arts, where I spent like 5 days a week, including Saturdays and Sundays. And actually, I think that my mission is to promote Russian arts and culture, and I just want to make sure that people kind of really have better understanding on what Russian culture is all about. And I work with New Hampshire State Council on the Arts, so I do lots of artists in residency programs. I'm in a traditional arts roster with New Hampshire State Council on the Arts as an icon painter, as a Russian nested doll maker. Then I'm with New Hampshire Humanities Council, and I do, as a scholar and art historian, I do presentations on Russian arts and culture.
So, unlimited budget, whatever Fabergé wants to do, his creativity is fabulous. The only condition is the egg has to have a surprise inside.
At the Mariposa Museum, we really try to bring the world to New England's doorstep. Today we've had Marina Forbes talking about lacquer boxes and Fabergé eggs. She has the exuberance and the excitement and the knowledge about Russia that just makes the programs so interesting. And following this lecture, she's going to do an egg painting workshop. So everyone who's been inspired by the lecture can create their own egg.
Think about that, this beautiful artistic plan. Is it going to be flowers of the same size, or one will be kind of a leading flower? Giving eggs for Easter as a gift, it's been tradition in Russia since time immemorial, and people would be doing kind of wooden eggs, kind of painted chicken eggs. It can be precious, semi-precious stones, papier-mâché eggs, porcelain, glass eggs, and of course Fabergé eggs. So it's kind of been a tradition. Painting on egg, it's kind of fun because it's kind of painting on three-dimensional surface, so that's why you kind of challenge yourself. And talking about painting, I paint on everything. Wooden boards, I paint on canvas, I paint on paper, I paint on rice paper. I mean, I paint on everything in the world because it's kind of fun, it's exciting, you have this kind of great idea and you can always do that. And because I do icon painting, of course we do religious eggs, so that's why you can paint an icon on wooden egg. I called my Easter egg painting as whimsical egg, so that's why whatever I can think of, I can paint. It can be scenes of St. Petersburg, scenes of Moscow, it can be very cute animals, it can be Russian peasant girls, but it can be anything. And it's interesting, people always ask me, like, how much time will it take you to do something? And everything depends, because if you create, I don't want to call it mass production, but if you're preparing for my Russian Easter bazaar, so I never work on one egg, and then one is drying, I'm just kind of working, for example, here with my floral and berry designs, and I create all red berries. Always kind of like one egg is drying and you're working on the other egg, so that's why you can work on 100 eggs at a time. If I just work on something spiritual, sacred, and people commission me to do that, it might take me a week before the first layer of varnish will dry, and then you just have to put a second layer and the third layer. So that's why it might take a year or up to 3 years to finish something, just because you just want to really make sure that you're following the tradition. I like to do all kinds of different things. I like to work with watercolors, and I work with Russian honey-based watercolors, and when you work outside, you might attract a couple of extra bees, and the colors are, we believe, much brighter. Okay, so I like to do watercolors, and of course it's floral, seascapes, landscapes, cityscapes. People commission me to do some special icons because of the wedding, or because of some special anniversary, or because they want to donate an icon in memory of somebody to the church. This is Saint Nicholas, the miracle worker, Archangel Gabriel, Trinity, and Jesus Christ enthroned. And very interesting icon is Martyr Khatavitsky. He is actually the only Russian saint who was in Portsmouth. Portsmouth Peace Treaty. It was signed in Portsmouth. Roosevelt got Nobel Prize for that. Kind of Father Khatavitsky, he came to bless the final day. Being a traditional Russian artist, I find the source of my inspiration, of course, traditional Russian cultures, fairy tales, literature, history, legends, true stories. And when I do my cultural tours to Russia, I always go to Russia for about like 2 months every year. And what I do is I go to those small villages where you have a chance to work with those great masters, say in their 70s, their 80s, and they just really love to work with me because I want to preserve traditional designs. I want to preserve the way how they paint their designs. And it's interesting working with traditional artists. Sometimes I feel like our Russian artist has to do this exercises like that. So just to make sure when you hold your brush, the brush goes and paint like that. It's all about creative noise, like bing! And then the brush makes this wonderful kind of point to the end, and you have this very nice little kind of tiny end of your brush stroke. So it's all about just having creative lines. It's all about just being exciting and enjoy what you're doing. That's why I do all kinds of different things. Bang! You go bing! And you go boom. And the idea is you get inspired, you learn the technique, and then you go home and you have eternity to create whatever you want to do.